You make a lot of bad mistakes just off of not being patient. Don't let all that, excitement and all that built up passion get in the way of your thinking. Don't let it clog your thinking. The worst way to act is persisting in an action without you knowing. It's worse persisting in an action without you knowing than you persisting in an action while knowing. Yo, what's up, y'all? My name is Cartez Rents, and I am the creator of InspoDreamz clothing brand. And today, we're just going to be talking about what InspoDreamz is about and how I got created. So, to first start off, the mission statement behind InspoDreamz is that InspoDreamz is here to create a community of leaders and hardworking individuals who are highly motivated and want to take control of their future and rise above their standards. So, a little bit about what this is growing up, I always grew up in a really positive, uplifting environment of straight go-getters and people who are always focused on the next goal. And so, you know, growing up, I always thought that, hey, this is just the way how everything was. Like, this is life. And so when I ended up going to high school and when I started noticing a lot more in high school was that, a lot of people aren't, mentally, positive. People aren't, dedicating themselves to their dreams, to their goals. Like people are doing things they're really not supposed to be doing and things like that. And I said, hey, I have a little bit of wisdom in myself that I can help share to other people of my age, people that are younger and things like that, that I can help uplift and inspire. So that's just what this mission is all about. This is why InspoDreamz even got created. And so yeah. So today I really just want to talk about something and one of the major things for me, because it's something that I'm going through right now, something that I think that I really just had like a bit of a breakthrough on is being patient. So for about a year now, a year and like 3 months, I've been keeping track. I've been dealing with, not being patient within my business, right? So when it comes to something about InspoDreamz, I'm so ready to be quick. I'm so ready to just hop right onto that next thing. As soon as when it comes to my mind, as soon as that idea comes to my mind, I'm ready to go like the next second. And see, the thing about the bad thing about that mindset, right, is that you're eager, you're ready to go. That's all good. But the bad side is saying, you're not doing any of your research. You're not doing anything, productive towards that. You're just ready to jump right in. You don't even know what you're doing. You can mess things up. So I'm gonna give a couple of examples. One of the examples, the first one where I first noticed that where I personally started noticing, where it started getting really serious, how about this? I give y'all the minor one. The minor one where it very first started was about like a year and 4 months ago when I first started this clothing brand, right? And this is when it was still not, I didn't even have product out yet. And so I was thinking about coming out with these shirts. And this go show up on the screen. These were the first shirts that I had ever dropped in the clothing brand ever. And so what you see here, that was the logo shirt before I started to rebrand and kind of, focus a little bit more around the brand. But that was a shirt. And so what you seen on screen there was our first shirt. And when it was an idea, I remember saying to myself, like, it was like $470 from the print shop that I was trying to get to. I think I was trying to get like 11 shirts for like $470 or something like that. I want to get it shipped all the way here and everything like that and start moving that product. And so, I remember I was making like $13 an hour at my Chipotle job. I was working at Chipotle at this time. I was making like $13 an hour. And I remember like my checks would usually be about like $500 every 2 weeks. And so, I said, ooh, my next check, I'm gonna just spend my whole next check on this drop and then keep going. Right. I say, cause I want to get this drop now. Like, I don't care. I want to get this drop now. Now I'm going to give y'all the positives about that. And I'm gonna give you the negatives. The positives about that is that you have a vision, you have a goal, you're eager about your goal, you're passionate about it, and you're ready to go towards it 100%. That is great. That is really good to have. But where it becomes bad at is where you're taking all that and that's overpowering your sense of thinking. That's where it becomes dangerous. And what I mean by that is okay, I have the shirts, I'm ready to purchase, use my entire next check. Mind you, I had other things going on. Like, this is in the middle of my senior year. I had other things that I need to pay for that was honestly more important. And then I also want to do other things on my own time. And and I had to account for other things. Like I had to account for what if my car breaks down, which it happened. Well, not it didn't break down, but I did crack the oil pan. And that's a story I get into way later. But and so it's like things like this, and it's like, okay, when things like this happen, I'm only gonna have $100 to try to work with like a $500 problem. And so I remember my father sat me down one night on the table, and he was like, this is like the first time we had this conversation within my business of being impatient. And he was like, it's good that you have all that, but you need to be patient. Like you need to think through everything. You need to be more strategic about it. You can't go spend your entire next check that you won't receive for the next 2 weeks on the clothing brand like that, because you need to account for so many other things going on in your life. Right. And so that was the first time. And so I ended up listening. I waited, and it took me like an extra month because I had a lot of other stuff that I need to pay for my senior and things like that. So it took me like an extra month before I can actually get it in. And through that process of that extra month, I ended up finding a way that I can get those shirts printed way cheaper for a way cheaper cost, and to where it was still getting a similar quality. And that was through DTG, Direct to Garment. And through that, that's where I learned about that. And that would just be through being patient. So a new opportunity opened up for me, a better opportunity opened up for me just by being patient for a couple weeks longer, right? So then the next story is I'm trying to go in like chronological order here. Okay, so the next story was actually this past summer, coming, back into the time of this recording. So with this, I was gonna go do another pop-up shop for my clothing brand, because I said, hey, I'm getting ready to like not completely refurbish, but I'm trying to mature this brand. And so the whole business model and everything was like maturing at this time. And so through that, so did my products and the meaning behind my products, and the time that I was taking to create these pieces. So I had shorts. I had some white InspoDreamz shorts. Again, it's showing on your screen right now. And these were the shorts. And so those shorts, that was the only color shorts that I had. And I bought 100 of them, right? And I was so eager to, sell these shorts at a pop-up shop, that without me being patient and researching and doing my proper research and making sure that I was getting the best, pop-up shop location, pop-ups, everything like that's going to set me up for a position, I was so impatient that I got the pop-up shop and I went there and was disappointed. With this pop-up shop, I still got sales. I still got a little bit over $300 in sales off of some of those shorts. And, but, it was a thing. So the pop-up shop was actually it was like deep inside of a neighborhood. And it was right behind a closed school. So, and then on top of that, the market for that pop-up shop was like strictly like seniors. It was like 60 years of age plus, right? It was like, at least like, I would say at least like 90% of people that I walked through that place was like seniors. And through this, I was I was disappointed, not in because of how the pop-up shop itself performed, but because of how I performed. And I didn't do the proper research. I wasn't patient. I didn't do the proper research. Like I didn't go look at the land. I didn't go look at, hey, this is where this pop-up shop going to be, because usually you get the pop-up shop, they give you like the location where the pop-up shop is going to be. And so what I should have done, and what I know now is, when I'm doing a pop-up shop, go look at the area that you're going to, especially if you don't know like anything. You never heard about that pop-up shop happening before, right? They may say it's our 5th annual, but you personally never heard about it. So, what I should have done was go and see like where this pop-up shop was at. Just by me doing that probably wouldn't have gave me my decision of maybe this isn't the right one for me. Not only on top of that, what I should have done was probably research their Facebook, research their Instagram, see if they're active in the community, like seeing like who are they really targeting and who is their following. I shouldn't have went to like their followers list and seen like who are their followers, because through that I probably would have seen that they were mostly seniors. And I want to said, okay, well, that want to kind of weighs, who's going to be at this pop-up shop. And things like that. And then on top of that, I also it was a product issue as well. I only had one color. I had 100 shorts in one color. right? And I missed out. I probably missed out on an extra $500 in sales just because I didn't have a different color, right? People were like, "Where's black?" Like I wanted, like, you shouldn't have some black shorts. You know what I mean? Like white shorts in the middle of summer is not good because we sweat. We're on the ground. It's going to get really dirty quick. And that was something that I should have thought about, but I didn't. Why? Because I rushed it. If I would have been patient and waited and I did my research, I would have been able to get, you know, 50 pairs of each color shorts. And therefore I wouldn't have made up, I probably wouldn't have made an extra $500, right? And that if the circumstances were different. If I was patient and researched this pop shop that I was attending, then maybe I would have ended up at a better power shop or waited for another one to come around. You know what I mean? Been proactive. So and then the last one that happened was actually like really recent. This was about like a week or two ago, I think. And with it was a really serious one because what I basically did was use an address that I was not supposed to use because I was trying to register my business in a DBA. And so what I did is I registered an address that I was not supposed to register. And that could have messed up a lot of things, not only within my business, but as well with the family business. So, and I did all of that because I wasn't patient, right? And so, what I'm trying to get at is you make a lot of bad mistakes just off of not being patient, right? It's great that you have the mindset of, I want to do this, I want to hurry up, and like I'm real passionate about it. Like let's get it done. It's good to have that, but something my father told me like a year ago when we first had this conversation was, you know, be passionate, like have that fire, but control that fire. Don't let it get all wild, and then most certainly don't let it get all wild and then it burns out. Right? Control that fire. So now you're making smart decisions. You know, and something not again that I said in the beginning of this video, something that I personally took is don't let all that excitement and all that built up passion get in the way of your thinking. Don't let it clog your thinking. And some people that have been following me for a while may be like, wow, Tez, I didn't know you're going through this. Well, yeah, so does every other entrepreneur. Every other entrepreneur has their individual problems, and it may be at a different level, but every entrepreneur has their own problems that they're trying to identify and get better at. My problem was being patient. And it's something I recently just kind of, really been really thinking into and internalizing and really had a wake up call. And it was just like, I can't, I like, I'm too intelligent to be making stupid mistakes. And that is a frustrating factor. Like knowing that you're intelligent, but you're still making stupid mistakes. Right. And so I have to remember that, even though like I'm really eager, I'm really passionate about something, I'm really ready to get this thing rolling. I have to also check myself and remember like, okay, but you have to be comfortable with this thing taking 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 years to develop. And I finally can truly say that I have finally like embraced that. And I've been really embraced it, but I can say now that I really got comfortable, extremely comfortable with like embracing that. And so through that, you realize like, you could take your time. Like you don't have to move so fast. Because the best businesses that you know of grew in a really slow, kind of burning, burning kind of pit. Right. And so something that I like to use is a diamond. You know how diamonds are made? Diamonds are made by going through this really intense, an extremely hot pressurized like process. And this process goes on for like years and years and years, like a really long time before the diamond comes from that really ugly black rock to a really pretty diamond that we see now. And so something that I realized is that I was taking my diamond out that process way too early. And you could see like a little, the little diamond specks around, but the whole rock was still basically covered in black. And that's exactly me. Like that's how I felt like I was operating. It was like, you know, every year with this diamond, because if you're checking the diamond every year, you're not going to see any really improvement. So that's how I was doing. It was like almost like every year I'm digging up this diamond and trying to see if there's any progress, getting frustrated, there's no progress, and trying to knock it off on my own, I'm scraping myself up and things like that. And so, really just letting yourself, you're the diamond, letting yourself go through that process of pressure, of heat, and things like that, so then you can develop and become better. So you can develop, and you're now really mature into what you're doing, right? And so yeah, that's something that I really want to come on here and talk about. um and this is just something that I identified for myself that I have a problem with going through, right? And I believe that there's a lot of things that everyone has a problem with. We just have to. Some people's problems that they just don't identify it, or they don't have like the circle to help them identify that problem. Therefore, they persist in their action without knowing. And I believe the worst way to act is persisting in an action without you knowing. It's worse persisting in an action without you knowing than you persisting in an action while knowing, right? Because at least if you know it, it's still in the back of your mind and you're still conscious of it, right? But when you're persisting in an action that you're not aware of at all, then you're doing things thinking you're a-okay, and you may be hurting people along the way. Like, you're not checking yourself. At least when you know, you're checking yourself. You may be trying to check yourself. You may slip up from time to time and things like that, but you're still aware of it. You still know it's there. So therefore, it's still something that you are trying to stay cognizant of. But when you just don't know it, period, you persistent and persistent and persistent, just like how you're trying to build up a good habit builds up to this big breaking point. It's the same thing with a bad habit. You building up this bad habit to eventually lead to a breaking point. Maybe that may look different for you. You may look like you getting fired from your job, you getting chewed out by your significant other or by your parents and things like that. It could look like a variety of things. But I believe that is worse persistent action that you're not completely, like, you're not aware of at all, than an action that you are aware of, right? And so yeah. And again, so I come on here basically just to, kind of talk about things like this. Um, I mainly want to come on because this podcast is for me to look back on, because everything in my camera roll can get deleted tomorrow, but I can still look on YouTube and see, like, dang, this is something I said. I gotta remember this, right? And then there's also a point where I feel like I can share myself, and hopefully someone who watches this can also, reflect that and say, dang, like, this is something that I need to work on as well. I can relate to him, and this is something I can help myself in. And again, that's what InspoDreamz is all about, right? To reiterate, InspoDreamz is here to create a community of leaders and hardworking individuals who are highly motivated and want to control their future and rise above their standards, right? That first part is very important. I say that part first for a reason: to create a community. To create a community. What do you see in a community? What you usually see in a community is people who are strong in one area. You see, like, half the community may be strong in one area, the other half may be weaker in another area. You have that stronger part of the community that can help strengthen their weaknesses, and vice versa. That's what a community is, right? So to create a community of leaders and hardworking individuals, to create leaders, right? Drop that community part, right? We already discussed community, but to create, the main words is to create community, leaders, hardworking individuals, rise above their standards, things like that, right? That whole message is important. And those words specifically go in that specific order for a reason. I put leaders before hard workers for a reason. And so, yeah, so like the whole mission statement is very important, right? I say to create a community of leaders and hardworking individuals. That's what we're creating: a community of leaders and hardworking individuals, right? If that, like, just period, that's it. So, and so yeah, this is one way that we could that this is one way that I can create a community, is if I vent out things that I identify as problems or weaknesses or even strengths that someone can relate to, and say, like, hey, I struggle in something that you're strong in. How can you help? Or, hey, I also struggle in something you're struggling at, but I overcame it. This is how I can help you. And that can be something like that. And so yeah. But I'm not going to take y'all time too much longer. I am going to end it with this, though, is that I'm going to consistently post every single Friday these videos every single Friday on YouTube, and just stay consistent, right? Consistently uploading these videos, consistently uploading. At the same time, I don't yet have a time. I just know it's going to be every Friday. I'm going to try to aim for noon every Friday, right? I'm going to try to aim for that. And so, like, these are videos that I want to constantly create, right? Putting out value for you guys to soak up and identify with. And heck, even if someone is strong in the area that I may be weak in, help me out, right? And let me know something that you're weak in that I could be strong in and I can help you out, and that's just what I'm trying to create here with InspoDreamz clothing brand. But again, I'm Cortez, the creator and founder of InspoDreamz clothing brand. We're here to create a community of leaders and hardworking individuals who are highly motivated and want to take control of their future and rise above their standards. And we do this through workout and lifestyle apparel. All right, we InspoDreamz and we out, baby.